I don't give a fork about the lonely male crisis. And I'm going to show you why. Directly from the horse's mouth. These men, I swear to God, I will not shed a tear for you, Argentina. It's not a crisis. It's called the natural consequences of your actions. That's it. Natural consequences. So I'm not gonna cry. In fact, this whole focus on that is unbelievably cruel. Maybe think of this before I go into the of like men who follow. They don't follow me. They go onto my page and and I have to like block them. I want to hit her point first because it's the most important. Lady first. This is my mutual. I'm gonna link her video in the comment, but I'm so afraid of copyright crap now. I'm not gonna play it, unfortunately. But let me summarize what she said. And she used the best metaphor. It's the best metaphor I've heard yet. Because what happens is, because it's not just men that do this, this is women that do this too. A lot of women get really triggered when women are like, I hate men. And they're like, not a man. And you're like, yeah. And they give all these examples of like all the amazing men. And they're like, my dad was great, my dad did blah, 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 blah. And it's like, good for you. And she was pointing out how cruel that is. It's cruel to do that. And I think sometimes women do it because either A, they are just living in their own little bubble world. I don't know how you avoided trauma, serious capital T trauma for men. I don't know. Must be a trauma-free unicorn, but most women I know have been somewhat traumatized by men. Most men I know have been traumatized by men. I think a lot of women who do this are in denial and all those things. I understand where it's coming from. I used to feel more empathy for men than women. I know, cool girl, pick me. We're all on the spectrum of that somehow because of our conditioning. But she used the example of firecrackers and war vets. You know, going to a party with all war vets and bringing firecrackers, something that is like affiliated with danger, death, trauma. Like, so, like, even if you don't, use a firecracker to hurt them, the reminder of it, of all that trauma from war, it would be cruel for her to go to, maybe, I mean, there's probably even a better metaphor, but I just love this because she was saying that like setting off firecrackers at a party full of veterans and then being like, but I love firecrackers, they're amazing. I have one. It makes me think of, it's like the 4th of July and then like hot dogs and hamburgers and parades, and I just love it. New Year's. Maybe that trip to Paris and the Eiffel Tower and blah, like whatever, right? And the war vets are like, I don't know, like they make me think of death and dying, my friend. You know what I mean? You're like, yeah, but come on, not all firecrackers mean death. I mean, they blah, 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 right? Like nobody would do that, right? Let's hope not. Let's hope not, unless you're a sociopath. It's cruel. What is on my hat? Oh my God. Ugh. It's a hole, sorry. I don't look in the mirror much, so I have to when I make these videos, and then I'm like, It's not because I hate myself. I just don't care. I'll pick myself apart if I stare at the mirror all day. Anyway, I guess I do care. Oh my God. He's trying. Oh, look. Oh, look at the eyes. They're like rolling the back of his head. I got to keep talking or he's going to wake up. He always, oh, look at that. Oh, you get the point, right? Just like, if you've had great experiences, great. That's amazing. Other women's trauma with men doesn't make your experience any less real, but you're lucky. In this world, you're lucky. And honestly, I think you probably don't remember something, or maybe in denial, but whatever. Maybe every single man you've ever known was amazing, but that's actually not possible. Anyway, so the point being was like, women have every right to hate men. Hate them all. I fully support women who hate all men. I am married to a man and I love him and he's really good to me and he's kind. Doesn't mean that I don't have a crap ton of trauma from terrible men, that I don't hate patriarchy and don't dislike most of them as a collectively, I don't really like them. I mean, It's kind of crazy too, if you think about it. Like, what? I'm fortunate to have several really awesome guys in my life, men in my life. But you know what? You know why they're great? Is because they're eager to deconstruct this stuff. They're learning and they're growing. They still make mistakes. They own those mistakes and on a quest to understand their entitlement, their privilege, and how dangerous all men are. If they didn't already know that, most men know that, but some of them don't realize just how dangerous men are if they didn't like grow up around like the average man. Anyway, they actively participate in deconstructing patriarchy. Those men, yeah, I like them. But the existence of those men or what they're doing does not in any way make me feel defensive around men as a collective, nor does it make me feel the least bit inspired to speak on behalf of men and them being great, because I don't believe that. Most of them terrify me and suck because they just like don't want to do the work. And I don't have patience for that because I know what it's like to deconstruct stuff. I know what it's like to face your shame. I know what it's like to realize that you are a predator. I'm a white woman from the South of all places. Believe you me, I have had to swallow a lot of hard pills, and I continue to every day because I keep learning more, and it's usually not great stuff, but I'm willing to. And if I know I can do it, I know you can do it, men. I know you can. I know you can. You just don't want to. And that's what I have a problem with. It's being so entitled that you're just lazy and don't want to change. And then you're like, but why won't y'all date us? It's because we like strangle you, you know? And it's like, I don't know, why? I have little to no patience for men who are not actively trying to grow and learn and change. No patience. I'm not here for those men. Those men hate me and they're not going to listen to me anyway. My husband and my guy friends who are working on this stuff, they can talk to those men. I'm not going to. That's why I block them immediately. I don't want them or the little friends in my algorithm. I sound like my mom. Your little friends. Is that a Southern thing or is that just like a parent thing? Anyway, so I recently had to private my most popular video on YouTube. I finally gave up. I gave up every single day. I don't know why. I don't know how they found me. This has been going on for at least 6 months. It's the video where I'm like, hey, I wrote that article, Men Have No Friends and Women Bear the Burden, trying to help men, not die alone, and now I don't care. Oh my God, I almost hurt my phone. I just want to stop doing that. I bet, I was like, I hope, good luck. Here's the resources I gave you, but not my problem. I don't care anymore. I'm here to help anyone but y'all. By y'all, I mean usually cishet men who are committed to maintaining power and dominating women and exploiting women and all that crap, right? And especially Scott Galloway's and the Jordan Petersons who are like, men are lonely, it's a crisis. Why don't you marry them so they won't unalive people? You marry them. You marry them, Scott. You can have them all. Have them all. We don't want them. So in this bit, I don't know. I think it ended up somewhere in the manosphere. Somebody has put a link to that video in at least one huge video or multiple ones, because every day for 6 months I have been harassed by these men. And I go in and I block and I delete and blah, blah, blah. And honestly, I'm tired of it. Like, I don't even care what they say anymore. It doesn't faze me. My feelings get hurt by women. Women hurt my feelings a lot. But that's because I actually care what women think. And I don't care what men think anymore. In general. As a collective, don't care. Don't care. I love that for me. It's taken me so many decades to get to that point, and it's like one of my things I'm most proud of is I've gotten to the point where their dumb comments don't hurt me. Also because they're so unoriginal. It's like the same crap. I'm like, did AI write, did a chat GPT, are y'all reading Cliff's Notes? How do you all say the same thing? It's fascinating how not creative these comments are. But sometimes they write long paragraphs, and I'm going to share one now. And just before I get into it, the only reason why I privated this thing is because, God, such a jerk. He's like, oh. It's like him rolling his eyes at me. He just rolls his body. Like a rotisserie chicken. God, whoever said that is the best description. But the reason why I privated it is because it just wasn't worth it. Like, I don't even know. I mean, no amount of views, which might lead to a little bit of more money, would ever compare at this point to letting these men come on my page. Because once they see that video, they start going to all my videos and start commenting elsewhere. So in the energy and in the spirit of protecting your peace from unnecessary drama and hatred from people you don't care to hear from, I privated that thing finally. I don't know why I didn't do it sooner. I was like, whatever, maybe at least I'm getting paid for like them showing up on this dumb thing, but I'm deleting and I'm blocking them, and that's actually taking time, and time is value. Time is money, but it's value. You know what I mean? And my time is not worth even like hitting one button to block them. It's not. I don't want them finding me, and I want their little friends finding me. Like I've said before, you know, I really want to encourage women to not give these men your energy. They're energy vampires. They steal your energy, and the whole point is for them to wear you down. You can't go give your energy to someone you love or yourself or create anything really cool when these men wear you out. So in the spirit of that, I privated this video finally. Again, wish I'd done it sooner. So it's this one, why we should stop caring about the lonely male crisis, right? It wasn't even that radical. It was just like, I don't care anymore. And this, like all the men, didn't actually watch the whole video. Because if they'd watched the whole video, they would have seen how much time and energy I have devoted to actually caring about their dumb loneliness crisis. Literally spent 6 months of my life. God, that'd be a nightmare. Writing an article to give these clowns resources. This article right here, it was originally in Harper's Bazaar, but it was republished in a bunch of publications, which we don't get paid when they republish it, by the way. You get paid once when you write an article, which is why I don't really write them much anymore. Anyway, and this article gave them all these resources, podcasts, books, interviews with men, different organizations, and these dudes still had the audacity to figure out my email and email me personally. What do I do? Help me. I don't even know you, bro. No. I've done enough and didn't get paid enough to help you as much as I did. It's so funny. I just realized that I've got this thing, even though I haven't even used it. This is like I'm like a conductor. Or this is like my whiteboard, but this is the way. Anyway, I'm not gonna block his name, because if you put this on the internet, you pay the consequence for that. A lot of times I block people's names out, but not you, Patrick. Oh, I can tell you, I know your last name now and your age. Why are y'all so dumb? Why would you do this to a woman and actually write you? Anyway, do not go harass this man if you were thinking of it, because that time could be done. You could be doing something better with your time. You could be helping other women, doing something cool for yourself, painting, writing, creating poetry. Literally anything. Do not give Patrick your time. If you thought of doing it, hopefully you didn't. But if you did, I understand. That's my instinct to be like, Patrick, I'm going to teach you. No more teaching men. They're terrible students. They don't do any of the homework. They don't come to class. And then they show up right before the exam and are like, hey, can somebody teach me everything so I can pass this test even though I don't know anything? No. It warms my heart to see that at least... You're already bugging me with this grammar. Come on. At least some people here have a decent head on their shoulders. I'm pretty lost for words. Really, because you wrote a big old comment. So that's not true. Liar. I have always known that there were groups of women that hated men this strongly. And in some cases, I get it. In some cases... Oh God, okay. Men treated you like shit, and those men should get no sympathy. That's why I'm doing this. Patrick. I'm giving you no sympathy because you are harassing me. So you're one of those men. You're not a nice guy. You're not a nice guy. But do you honestly believe that every man in the whole wide world is so horrible? Yeah, that was easy. Are there no good, honest men? Of course there are. That's why I wrote that article. If I didn't believe there were good, honest men, though none of them are good, just like none of them are all bad, they're all on the spectrum of suck. The ones who are more towards don't suck or awesome are ones who are not this lazy and entitled. Anyway, I would not have spent so much time writing an article and researching to help men if they all suck. That would make no sense, Patrick, right? If I didn't believe in men, why would I write this? Why would I literally care? Why would I do anything to help them if I hate all of them and think they all suck? So right here, this tells me you don't listen. You don't comprehend. You're literally just trying to waste my time. And now we are all focusing on what a dumb comment this is. If so, if you really believe there's no good, honest man, so I should probably take a look in the mirror and then ask myself, if I am such a horrible, disgusting man, well, I can tell you right now, you are. Let me save you some time, Patrick. You are. Because most men don't do this. Most men don't waste my time and tell me all this nonsense. Is my father the kindest, most loving man I know? A horrible man? I don't know. I don't know your daddy. But my guess is that he actually sucks because he raised you. The misogynistic apple doesn't fall far from the big old misogyny tree. Birds of a misogyny feather flock. You know what I'm saying? Do I need to do more, Patrick? Oh, you're exhausting me already. But at least I'm having fun, or I wouldn't be doing this. The man, his dad, the man I have looked up to my whole life. Yeah, I bet your dad beat your mom, huh? What about your mom, huh? We're gonna hear about her? Your dad, my dad. Your dad probably is like a firefighter and everyone worships him and I don't know, but either you're watching too much red pill stuff or your daddy did this, or your mom, or a combo. The man who everyone in the community, here we go. Oh, did he work for search and rescue? Y'all know what I say about these heroes of the community. The community loves and treasures. I find it hard to believe that this is the case. Well, if you disagree, then I rest my case. I lose. Kidding. I fully understand that there are a lot of disgusting men out there. Seems like you hate men more than I do, bro. I'm not even calling them disgusting. You are. It takes one to know one. But please don't condemn the rest of men because of these horrible men. Are you not omitting me? I think you are. We already knew that. I promise you there are still decent men in the world. Where are they, Patrick? I talked about them in the essay that I wrote that you clearly didn't read. But I don't think you know any of them. I think you know men pretending to be good. They are just harder to find today because they hide themselves and they are lonely and depressed. Did you hear that? The reason why there's so many bad men out there is because all of the good ones are hiding. They're in hiding. Who are you hiding from? Is this peekaboo? What? Who are you hiding from? Women or other men? Like you. I don't understand. Is there a trap door full of these good men? What are you saying? They're lonely and depressed. The good men in the world are killing. Oh, here we go. I knew this was coming. See, I read this a long time ago. I was like, yep, classic. They always mention this. I'm supposed to care more about these amazing men who have no friends and they're hiding because they're so amazing that they have to hide. And then I'm supposed to care more about them unaliving themselves because women won't have schmegs with them. Then I am supposed to care about the women that these very men are actually going, right? Because these little inchmel usually take this out on someone. They're punching women in the face. They're just flat out unaliving them. They're doing whatever they want to do. If they don't have one in the home, like their sister, their daughter, their wife, their girlfriend, their grandma even, then they do it to women in public. But I doubt that who's no one? I'm pretty sure women would have been listening to them and they're like, can you go get some help? And they're like, I don't pay for a therapist. Therapists are stupid. Because men are so arrogant, they think they know more than therapists. I kid you not. Seriously. Even the most evolved men are sometimes resistant to therapy, especially if it's a woman therapist. A lot of times Like a woman therapist is just like a woman yammering on. Blah, 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 blah. So if they go to a therapist at all, they go to a male therapist. And there are a lot of great male therapists. I have one, actually. My EMDR guy. He's awesome. But in general, like a lot of male therapists are not going to call these men out on exploiting women. They're not going to call them out on even abuse and stuff. Like a lot of men just don't understand what abuse really looks like from men unless they have been abused themselves by men. And even still, they don't get it. But it's usually because they don't want to pay. They don't want to pay somebody because a woman's supposed to be their therapist. And that's really what the problem is. They're pissed, not only because they can't get laid and all that crap. It's really because they don't have a woman who will listen to them and do all that emotional labor for them for free. And they're like, well, who do I talk to? Because men suck. There we go. Bingo. Men won't talk to each other. They will not vet each other. They will not do the hard work of creating intimate relationships with other men, and then they blame us because these men to make terrible friends. And also, these men have been pranking each other since they were kids. Need I remind you? I don't know if this is everywhere, but I know from middle school to high school to college and beyond, when a man falls asleep, the stuff other men do to him. I mean, we know what they do to us in our sleep. You know, most of my trauma from men. Trauma especially was while I was trying to sleep, which is why I have so much sleep trauma, or not even try, actually did to me in my sleep. But they will violate men. They'll take photos of them with their in the mouth or right next to it. They'll draw things on their face. They'll stack cans and stuff all over them. Like they're pranksters. Stuff that they do to us. Right? I talk about these men who prank their wives all the time. They started off doing that with their buddy or their sister or their little brother, a little nightmare in their family. So I understand why men don't trust each other. You have a long track record of not being trustworthy and being cruel to each other. But they hate us because we are like, I don't want to fill in as your therapist and do all this stuff for you. And they're like, dang it, it's not fair. I am tired of seeing good men in their lives because no one will listen to them, and I'm tired of having to bury friends and my brothers because no one helped them. I would love to know how many of your friends you've buried. First of all, they exploit this statistic all the time. Second of all, I want to know how many women in your life have died because of men. And I include the ones that died of cancer or other crap because these men made them so sick, having to walk on eggshells around them. Literally, I talk about this all the time. I literally got so sick being with an angry, abusive man. And I got well from these particular sicknesses that he gave me as soon as I left. And that was like less than a year. These men literally, they kill our immune system. Stress of dealing with these men. Our cortisol levels, everything is off. We live like this. I already live like that, like as my default because of because of my past. Right? Imagine that and then having that in my home. No, thank you. So, Patrick, how many women have you known have been unalived by men? Or almost, whether outright or through the long game of the invisible kind of violence? How many women have attempted taking their own life? Because y'all don't seem to ever talk about that. Women attempt it more. Men are more successful. And I have lost my cousin to this. And guess what? We grieve when these men do this. Y'all, we're closer to these men than you are. That is what pisses me off the most. We are closer and have probably helped these men more than you, Patrick, or any of your brothers, right? We are mourning these men that take their lives. We are left not only dealing with the trauma of it, but we're the ones planning the funeral, making the food, checking on the relatives left by these men. What are you doing, Patrick? Got me all worked up now, Patrick. God, I will never be able to drive over a bridge and not think of my cousin. I will never be able to go whitewater rafting again and not think of raft guides having to recover his body. I will never be able to do so many things that either I love or just that you do without thinking of that and picturing it in my head because I was I don't want to say dumb enough, but I Googled the bridge. I Googled the bridge, and now I can't ever get that out of my head. I wish I did not know any details, and I do. So I live with that. What about you, Patrick? Are you just saying a statistic? Because there's women grieving all you brothers just as much as you, if not more so. I pray to God. Sure you do. Your God is actually a dick. This is probably the root of your problems right here. You're probably afraid of this man. And all your daddy issues start with that daddy. Maybe you should start there. If you have a God, maybe it shouldn't be one that you're terrified of. That's another video. That in my time of need, someone will be there, but I know in my heart that there will be no one. That's because you're spending time on the internet talking to me, complaining to me. Where's your community building, Patrick? What efforts are you making to make friends, Patrick? I was celibate for 12 years. Guess what? With all that time I was not spending on dating, first of all, I was doing adventures and having time of my life, but I was also like spending a lot of time with my friendships and community and doing all kinds of stuff. But what I wasn't doing is harassing people on the internet and blaming them for my problems. That's what I was not doing. So if no one is there for you, it's because you are talking to me instead of a therapist or instead of making friends. Get off your butt and go make some friends and stop putting it on women to save you from your loneliness. We're not doing it anymore, buddy. You can't make us do it. And that's why you're pissed. Although y'all really trying to make it. Please don't let the good men die. Look at that. You are such a drama queen, Patrick. Such a drama queen. Patrick, stop talking to me. Go to a therapist. You're speaking to some war vets here of men, and we don't think that your fireworks are fun. So, bye-bye. I've already blocked you from commenting. I hope that you stop watching my stuff. Or if you see this one, you won't watch this, but maybe you will. I hate watch it. You know what to do now. Get busy.